Hi, and welcome back to the channel. My name is David, and today I'm going to discuss the next step in my reloading process, charging the cases with powder. Today we're going to be using the federal brass we've been processing this entire time, along with H4350 for our powder, and Berger 140 grain hybrid target bullets. The particular powder trickler I'm using is a Auto Trickler version 4, with some upgrades from MKM to make it a little bit smoother. I've also replaced the cup with an Ingenuity Precision dead drop cup. The funnel that I'm using is an Area 419 funnel. I like this particular funnel because it has a fairly large opening, and I've never had anything stick to the inside of it. It also allows it to sit onto each case very easily. The scale is a FX 120i A&D scale. It is accurate down to 0.02 of a grain. That's approximately 1 kernel for this particular powder. And yes, I do make sure that every single charge weighs out to the same exact grain. I'm not going to discuss the specific load that I'm using on this batch of ammunition. This is not a load development video. This is specifically to show my reloading process. I might do a load development video in future videos, but that is not the purpose of this specific series. I do like the Auto Trickler version 4, and I'm very happy that I purchased it. However, I am looking forward to upgrading it to either the Ingenuity Precision or the meal system. Both of those are significantly faster on throwing powder and much more accurate. They throw down to the individual kernel. If you haven't seen either of those, I strongly suggest that you check them out. I have pre-orders in on both of those, and I will certainly leave a review once I actually get them. It'll probably be in several months, though. By no stretch of the imagination do you need a fancy auto trickler to be able to throw powder accurately. You can do this either by hand or on a much cheaper scale. For example, I started off on a RCBS Chargemaster Link. It worked perfectly fine. It was just much slower. As I dispense each individual charge of powder, I make sure it comes out to the appropriate grain. If it does not, if it is over, I use the tweezers to the right to be able to remove a single kernel at a time, put it back on the scale, and check until it comes back to the correct amount. Once it has, I then go ahead and dispense that powder into the funnel. I then place a bullet, just seating it very lightly on top, just to make sure that I know that I've already charged that particular case. I'm going to fast forward through a majority of this video, simply because it's the same process over and over. My plan is to upgrade and add on an additional powder thrower, as I mentioned before, either the Ingenuity Precision or the meal system. I do not plan to get rid of the current one that I have. I just plan to add on at least one, if not two more throwers. This whole entire process took approximately about 40 minutes to be able to complete, and I would like to be able to do that much quicker. Adding on an additional thrower will simply mean less downtime in between charges. You may notice a bunch of kernels building up in the loading block. Those are from overthrows, usually by 1 or 2 kernels. I just simply remove them, put it back onto the scale to reweigh it, and then dispense it into the cases, assuming that it's accurate. Is it important to be down to the kernel accurate? No, probably not. But I want to make sure that my process is as repeatable and consistent as I can make it. This should lead to more accurate SDZSs and average speeds. Then it's simply on me to make sure that I do everything right when firing the rifle. So we're getting to the end of the loading process here, and the cleanup step is actually pretty quick and simple. You simply take off the hopper from the back of the auto trickler, empty out the back of it, tilt it over to get all of it back out of the tubes that are in there, empty it back into the hopper, set back the auto trickler on top of the scale, and then set it up to basically just dump straight back into the container for the powder. And that's all there is to the cleanup process. I am picky and I do clean up all of the individual kernels themselves that were the overflow, and I throw them all back into the powder as well. And that is how I do powder throwing or powder charging. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, as I'll be putting out more videos on my entire reloading process as well as product reviews. I'll see you in the next video.